Hello and welcome to the fifth game in my series, My Journey to 2200 in Rapid Play ELO. Right, we've just got a game just about to start, so here we go. If you're new to the channel, I provide an in-game commentary to give you thoughts and ideas on a player of my standard. I'm rated 1830 over the board and just over 1900 on chess.com daily. So here we have a game in progress. Queen's Gambit declined. He's played semi-Slav variation, which is this move here. So it's fairly book stuff at the moment, although generally we might actually get Cambridge Springs here, which is a Queen A4, Bishop B4, and putting a lot of pressure on here, so I've got to get the move order right on this. Don't see this very often. So E3, yeah, here we go, yeah. So now I have to make sure the move order is correct, otherwise you get in trouble. So first of all I've got to drop the knight back, because if he does play knight here, then that does cause problems. He's played this way. Okay, no, there's a nasty little trap. The idea is that that exposes an attack on the bishop there, so I can't play bishop takes pawn because I drop a piece. And I remember a long time ago falling for that. So I have to capture here first. You can actually play bishop takes pawn, but I actually like to play capture with a knight, because then that drives the queen back. Or they can, I think they can also in some lines play queen b4, but I think the line I remember playing against my computer many years ago was queen to c7 was probably the line, but it's been a while since I've seen this particular variation. So let's see what they play. Usually I like to, queen b4. My normal sort of move is to develop bishop here and then play f4 castles and sink a knight on that square. Right, now then, I'm sure I've played a3 at some point against queen b4, but I seem to remember it being quite trappy, but I can't remember why, so I'm sure I'm going to find out in this particular game. So at the moment he's not threatening to play queen takes b2 because the knight's defending it. So so what happens after a3? E3. I'm sure I'm probably being a little bit too cagey here, but there's something I just can't remember about this. Yes, right, it seems a bit unusual this does, because obviously if I hit it and you can't go anywhere other than queen e7, that's an unusual place to put it. So what am I actually missing? I'm not sure. I'm probably going to get re-educated on this again, but let's see. Yeah, okay, queen e7 it is. Right, now then, let's see what the plan is. Now, what I want to do is stop him from playing e5 to develop, so he can develop that white squared bishop, and I want to keep that bishop entombed if possible. So let's have a look. Yeah, I'm playing a little bit slower than I'd like to. But when you haven't come across a line for a little while, it's quite understandable. Yeah, let's play bishop e2. Okay, so my plans here, probably definitely castle kingside. At some point maybe e4, e5, just to lock in that bishop. Or possibly f4, haven't decided yet. Obviously develop a rook to c1 and take it from there. Okay, so he's gone here. That's quite understandable. I don't really want to go backwards to the knight, so knight e5 seems the most obvious. Also, sort of half gaining the tempo here. I'm sure he's going to go bishop b7 anyway. But after bishop b7, can I play bishop f3? He's probably got to go rook c8, defend. I'll try and get f4 in at some point, or maybe even castle. Okay. So bishop f3, you could play c5. Bishop takes, queen takes. I don't really want to play pawn takes because that allows the bishop to come here. Okay, so queen e7 is obviously a long-term plan of supporting that bishop. Okay. But then this pawn hangs in that line, so no it doesn't. No it doesn't, because the queen's on that square at that point, isn't it? So okay, I'm going to have to up the tempo a little bit, because otherwise I'm going to get a little bit short later on. Certainly an argument for playing knight back here and then knight here, so unless knight back, knight pawn on, which exposes here. That stops me from castling, so if I just castle c5, he establishes the bishop on the long diagonal. So actually no, that pawn hangs, so no, let's castle. You might possibly play b4 as well, that's a possibility. But then that does leave this as a target after captures, queen b4. Yeah, bishop f3, I like the idea of that, however that does help him with his development. So I want to keep that bishop locked in, because that's going to be a long-term advantage for me if I can keep that bishop locked in. So I think we'll play knight d3 into c5, yeah. Obviously, because obviously the queen's on e7 is going to develop the bishop on fianchetto on g7, so that makes sense. Okay, so there's no point delaying it. Let's just play a fairly obvious move. That's an absolute beauty of a square for the knight. Okay, so I think the plan now is to play rook c1, bishop here, and just absolutely pile on this. I'm sure there's probably going to be some potential tactics of knight takes here as well. Okay, I wasn't interested in taking that. Okay, bishop here, he's obviously intending to play knight there to block it. And I'm definitely not going to capture it. Yeah, let's play that one first. That's a fairly obvious move. Knight d5, rook c1 is what I'm expecting. Okay. Didn't really expect that. Actually, no, can I play knight takes pawn? Because after pawn takes, the rook hangs. So it also hits the queen as well. So I think he's overlooked that one. There might be some potential tactics later on of the bishop along the diagonal, but I can't see them at the moment. There's plenty of pieces in the way, and pawns especially. So yeah, I'm quite like that. Yeah, after developing the bishop there and then retreating it, I don't think he's quite. He played the opening well, but then now he's obviously not realised I'm not going to capture this bishop, and then just dropping it back was a waste of time, really. But anyway, okay. Yeah, okay. I'm sure there's no tactics of bishop here. I'm possibly just capture it. But let's just eliminate all the possibilities, and that's a beauty of a bishop as well. So now I've got a nice material advantage, rook and pawn for a knight. So it's just press that advantage home now. Develop the pieces. Rook c1, queen b3, develop the other rook to d1 maybe. I've got complete control. This square's fine. He's going to play knight d5 at some point. Okay, that's obviously to defend this pawn. But yeah, just develop the pieces now. I've got complete control. I mean, this bishop's absolutely going nowhere. Obviously can't go here. Yeah, at some point you might go there. I'm not going to take it because that knight is just an absolute peach of a piece. So it's just keep the whole thing safe now and realise the material home. Yeah, I think after rook d1 I'll probably play e4 at some point. Possibly g3 as well, give my king a flight square, or luft as the common word is for it. Obviously the bishop can float back in there if absolutely necessary later. But I suppose a move for him at some point, yeah, possibly e5, just to undermine here. Obviously he had to play rook here to defend the knight at this particular stage, but I could maybe just start trading the pieces off now. Yeah, it turns out that it's a bishop that I've got for a rook and pawn. Okay, let's just play the obvious move. I might just trade all the pieces off if he plays e5. So bishop takes, not queen takes, rook takes, then pawn takes. Okay, rook takes here, bishop takes here, and then yeah, I've got a check on the back row as well. Okay, so that's all good. I'm sure the plan for him is e5 at some point, but that knight c4 looks quite that looks quite nice for him. How am I going to deal with that? Is it worth trying to undermine by playing a4? So a4, ba, knight takes, queen takes. Yeah, that's a target. Pawn on, that stops knight c4. So pawn on here. If he ignores it, he's then got to defend that pawn. So I think that looks quite sensible. He's playing quite quickly. He's only used a minute. Okay. 22 moves in, so I'm quite happy to pace myself at this tempo. So yeah, let's go a4. At the end of the day, there's no point having 10 minutes left on the clock if I'm going to make some crappy moves. So yeah, okay. Yeah, this also gives me a chance to play rook c6 then and start penetrating this position, double rooks down the c file and cause him some real problems. So I'm quite liking this. Yeah, I'm sort of half expecting to play knight here again. Don't really want to play bishop takes knight because that just gives him a pair of bishops, which is some good compensation being exchanged down. So I'm not going to do that. Be good to trade the knights off. Yeah, I might play knight c3 now, so let's have a look at that. And then if he declines, I might then play knight e4, hitting the queen. Yeah, looks like a bit of a dull and safe move, but you know, it's the sort of idea when you material up, just trade the pieces off, as one of my good chess club mates told me years ago. I'm sure he's not going to capture, but if he does, I'm happy. I'll just play rook takes and then double rooks, and then yeah, I'm invading right down the c file. It's very comfortable at this stage. I was just wondering if there's a nice little combination here. Knight takes, pawn takes, bishop takes, queen takes, rook takes. So what does that leave us? I think that just wins me a pawn, doesn't it? And it just trades all the pieces off. Let's just do a recount. So knight takes, pawn takes, so that's level. Bishop takes pawn, queen takes, rook takes, and then yeah, that's okay. Is there any intermezzos, any moves that it can sort of interpose? I don't really want to start this unless I can actually see that it works fully. So knight takes, pawn takes, that's pretty obvious. Bishop takes is a check. So queen takes, that's a check as well. Yeah, that forces a whole lot off, isn't it? So let's just do it. Okay, so bishop check, yeah. Temporary sack of a piece, but that's because his bishop's hanging on the back row after all the exchanges. And if he just moves the king, then yeah, I'll just move the bishop away. Yeah, I can't see any combos like rook takes. There's nothing at the end of it. Okay. Yeah, that's quite a neat little combination. Okay, so now do we just double rooks or do we play rook a1? Do we go for activity or do we go for material? Okay, at some point I need to play g3 or something similar just to give my king a flight square. Rook c7 maybe, king here, rook here, and that threatens to checkmate. No, not quite checkmate him because he can block with the rook, but so I've got 9 minutes to go. He's barely used 2 minutes here and he's quite a bit down, so rook here, rook b5, rook takes, pawn on, give me a flight square, and then yeah, I must be looking good after that. Yeah, let's go. Yeah, let's go here. If he decides to defend, then I can always play rook here, and then that, you know, potentially force a exchange of rooks. It's probably slightly materialistic going this way, but it's probably as good as any. Because if he does allow rook takes, then that just cuts the king off as well. And there's some potential mating attacks if he's not careful. Okay, so rook takes a6, rook takes b2, g3. I have to be slightly careful because he's got a black squared bishop, and all my pawns will be on black squares by then. But no, let's go for it. Okay, after rook takes b2, rook c7 check first. Doesn't quite mate it because he goes king here, rook a8, bishop back, but then yeah, that looks, yeah, I should win the bishop. Obviously I've got to play g3 just to give myself a flight square, but that bishop's doomed then, and yeah, I should just be a rook up and a couple of pawns, and yeah, good night Vienna. Which I think is probably what's going through his mind at the moment. Okay, so he's done it. So I'm going to go rook c7, see where he puts the king. If it goes anywhere, you know, like f8 here, then it's just mate into rook a8. Yeah, that's the only move he's got. So rook a8. Now he's going to go bishop here. Yeah, and what he's hoping for is if I play rook c8, then I'm going to get mated. So yeah, I'll go here first. Okay, so yeah, that was quite fairly comfortable game, that one. Yeah, quite rare. The last few games in my series have not been as comfortable as that, but it's always nice to get a good one. So let's see if we can do a review on it. Here we go. game review is working. It didn't work immediately after the game, but here we go. Let's see what the deal is. So yeah. Okay, so yeah, as I said in the actual live game, yeah, fairly standard stuff. Yeah, Cambridge Springs version, which is introduced by the Queen A5, and usually you have Bishop B4 as well. Common is what I see after the knight comes back, Bishop B4, which then Queen C2, then pawn takes, exposing the attack on the here, in which case Bishop takes, Knight takes. Very similar to the game, except for there's obviously a bishop on this square, B4, and a queen on C2. Okay. Okay, so DC, exposing this, yep. Okay, so that's a must. Okay, Knight C4, Queen B4. Okay. Yeah, I seem to recall Queen B4 used to be played, unless it's a different. Why did I think that was an old book move? Yeah, Queen C7 is also the main one that I remember, but for some reason I couldn't remember why Queen B4 was stuck out and why I had to think about it. But yeah, it's as the computer says, it's an inaccuracy. So okay, nothing to be scared of. And so what is the best move against that? Okay, so that's I don't really understand why. I mean, surely B5. Yeah, I can't play. That's to stop B5, because then obviously Queen takes, pawn check. The idea of B5 is to kick the knight, and then this pawn's hanging. Okay, so let's just have a very quick look. I'll do it slowly, yeah, because this one just runs ahead. Okay. Yeah, I mean that's just too advanced. So I'll forget that. So yeah, A3. I thought that was good enough for me. Yep, queen there, that's normal. Okay, so Bishop E2, it didn't like that as much. It says it's good, but obviously nowhere near the best. So what is the move here? Rook C1, okay. I can understand that. That's a fairly normal developing move, and probably makes it more difficult for the likes of B5 or B6, so fair enough. That's a note to self on the next move. So Bishop E2, okay, B5. Okay, so what's the best? Queen D8, okay, presumably just so it allows the bishop to come to develop, but yeah, that's a lot of queen moves, to be fair, so white should have a good advantage, and yeah, pawn 7-3 is not bad. There's a B5, yeah, knight E5, great square for the knight, loving it. No point going back to D2 or, well, A5 is just stuck on the edge. Knight's on the rim of dim, so forget that. Yep, that's fair enough. Castles. Now, why didn't it like castles? Because I also looked at Bishop F3. Okay, Rook C1. Yeah, that's sort of a discovered attack on the on that. So that was certainly another move I was considering. Not sort of on this move, but certainly down the line. It's very thematic, but I'm wondering whether we could play C5 in this spot and expose an attack on here. So how would he react to C5? Let's see what he would play against that. Oh yeah, okay, so I'm missing Bishop takes B5, and yeah, the whole house falls in by the look of it. Knight D7, Bishop, yeah, okay. Obviously a lot of combos, and yeah, it's not enough on this square, of course. So yeah, Bishop takes, Knight back, and that just wins a piece and goodness knows what. So yep, okay, big oversight by Dale. That's C5 moves, so let's go back to the review. Okay, castles is what I played. Yeah, G6. Okay, I didn't think that was an inaccuracy. I thought, in light of where the queen was, you know, okay, although it's sort of biting at granite with that pawn here long term, if you can ever get e5 in, then, you know, the bishop on the long diagonal's not good. Not, you know, it's a good asset. That's somebody from, say, who plays a lot of black fianchetto openings, or black squared fianchetto openings as black. Now that's a surprise. Why is it saying a question mark when that is an absolute peach of a square for the knight? Presumably he's going to go knight d7 and stop all of that. I didn't really consider that in the game, so okay, I'm going to stop all of that. But yeah, I mean, okay, I mean, with what he's playing, I'm pretty much, the strategy is very similar. Obviously he's backed it up with this and an extra knight, but, you know, it's, I thought knight d3 was okay. Obviously it's, I mean, going backwards a little bit, but, you know, for the sake of an awesome square for the knight, I didn't think it was, I thought that was a little bit of, a bit harsh, but hey ho. These computers know what they're doing these days, whereas us 1800 players don't at some point. So here we go. Bishop g7, yeah, expected that. Knight c5, okay, so what was the best move? Okay, I can probably understand that, at least, yeah, it just piles a little bit more pressure on the c-file. Go with that. Knight c5. Okay, bishop c8, yeah, that's not a good move. That's just undeveloping a piece. I'm never going to take that bishop in a million years. The whole strategy of my knight on c5 is just to camp the beast there, and just basically fix the backward pawn that black's got, and just keep that bishop entombed, and then just rook c1, queen b3, develop the other rook, and then eventually just pile on this with bishop f3 as well. So yeah, I think I probably would have rated that as an actual mistake, a full question mark, especially how he followed it up as well. Yeah, I don't think black's quite got the idea of, I would have just, yeah, like the computer suggests, just castle, bring the two rooks across to the C and D files. Okay, black's slightly struggling, but, you know, it's not, it's a difficult position. You probably just challenge the knight with a knight here, I go knight here, and then d5 I think is the sort of idea. So yeah, okay, so bishop f3, yep, like that. Okay, and then yeah, that's just a complete blunder. Yeah, obviously missed knight b5, which is what I played, and then that gets me an exclamation point. Yeah, not too difficult to find. Okay, pawn takes, yeah, that's probably as good as anything. Bishop takes rook, yeah, castles. Okay, yeah, it's a bit of a safe move, I think. A6, yeah, fair enough. Yeah, fair enough. Okay, knight d5. Yeah, I was expecting that, but it's only rated it as good. I mean, what was the best move? I mean, it's obviously in a lost position now, so I'm not going to spend too much time on this, but yeah, that was the alternative, because I suppose after knight here it does make it slightly more difficult to play e5, so that's fair comment. So knight d5, and it's definitely more difficult now I've played that, because on e5 then this leaves this hanging. Rook d8, which reinforces it. Okay, rook d1, just a nice developing move. Yeah, not going to find the best, look for the best move on that one. It's fine. Okay, yeah. Yeah, this is just fairly natural stuff. Okay, and then obviously he's missed my follow-up. Yeah, best move. Yeah. Nice little combination, just wins a pawn, trades all the pieces off, ticks a lot of boxes. Okay, yeah, I mean, just out of interest, I just want to see what the best move is on this one, because, yeah, Endgames are not my strongest point, so okay, so rook c8 with the intention of it doesn't really give a continuation, but presumably I can just do the same. Yeah, I'm not going to waste time going on because it's a totally one game anyway. So after rook a1, rook b5, probably as good as anything. Rook takes, yeah, fair enough. Rook c7, yeah. Okay, and adios. That's the game. Okay, quite a comfortable game. The first one I've had in the 5-game series so far, so it's always nice to get one of those. Anyway, hope you enjoyed the game. Leave your comments and let me know what you'd like to see in future videos. Like and subscribe for more content, and all the best with your games. I'm Dale Jackson. You have been watching Jacko Chess, and until next time, goodbye.